What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day. This is interesting to see if this is actually going to be true or not. I saw this. I'm working over here on this Cape Cod. We're working on converting this into like a efficiency apartment, a guest suite, whatever you want to call it. Taking a half bathroom and making a full bathroom and putting a little kitchenette. Okay, so this would be like a RV, space-wise, like a little bigger than an RV, but kind of a kitchenette like that. But I saw somebody had shared with me a Facebook post about Maxx Crosby, that the Cowboys were reaching out to the Raiders about Maxx Crosby, which doesn't sound far-fetched. Now, here's the problem is I think it was a Facebook post originally. And so you have to understand, this is the nature of the beast these days, okay? Facebook is now monetized. I got a thing where it says I'm now monetized. I was like, really? What do I do to get monetized? By the amount of clicks that you get on a post on Facebook ends up being you're making money. So now I see all these AI, for me, because I look at construction, but all these AI construction projects of decks with, they're building roofs and they're like crazy. And so people comment on it like, dude, what are you doing? You can't notch the 6x6s or your base plates are off. And, it's done to be clickbait. It's made to be there. And you're seeing ones about football players and Cowboys and sad news about, this, that, and the other about football players that aren't true. I saw one the other day that was Leon Lett had passed away. And it's like, Leon Lett ain't passed away. So, be that as it may, so I didn't do anything about it. But I just got shared with somebody else that said that Trey Wingo is reporting now that the Cowboys are reaching out to the Raiders about Maxx Crosby. Now, here's what you look at with the Raiders and why you say it's plausible, because the Cowboys and the Raiders have made moves before. We got like Rolando McClain, one of the best thumping linebackers I've ever seen. If he had the desire to go with it, he would have been a Hall of Famer. He was a great player, just didn't want to practice and didn't really care about it. This natural God-given talent. You can think about the first-round draft pick they gave up for Amari Cooper. So you can say there is a relationship there, especially since Jerry Jones is the reincarnation of Al Davis. I think it's safe to say that. So there's that. Now, whether or not the Cowboys are doing it, I don't know. But let's say hypothetically, let's just say hypothetically, that the Cowboys were able to make a trade with the Raiders and get Maxx Crosby. Let's say they had to give up one of the first-round picks you're getting from Green Bay, right? I wouldn't be opposed to that. I wouldn't be opposed to that at all. In fact, the question becomes is, you can give up the Green Bay one, because Green Bay will probably finish with a better record than we will, and it'll be a later round pick. Here's another thing I'll say. This would be crazy. Because, Trey Hendrickson, they want a player, I'm sure a good player, they don't want a bum, and then a mid-level pick, okay? The difference there is you're basically renting him for the rest of the season, and then you got to sign him to a new contract. Maxx Crosby got his deal, which is a lot less than Micah Parsons, I believe. I think Maxx Crosby is only $35 million. So let's say you end up giving up your Green Bay number 1 pick. I'd give up my second-round pick, too. Because our second-round picks haven't done shit. They haven't done shit in the 2020s. So I'd make that deal. I'd make that deal today, because you're still ahead of the game, because basically you look at this and say, you save $12 million a year on salary, opposed to Micah Parsons, right? You still have Green Bay's first-round pick from the next year. And basically, it would end up costing you, or in exchange, but actually, no. It would cost you a second-round pick, but you gained the first-round pick. I'd say that's a steal. That would be a steal. Now, whether or not that is actually real or not, because here's the other part about it. You know, just because Trey Wingo reported it doesn't necessarily make it true. Because we've had ESPN the first day of training camp, okay, when they're still just wearing, they're not even wearing helmets and shields. They were showing clips the first day of training camp of them in pads where Brandon Cooks was catching a deep pass, and they said Dak Prescott to George Pickens. And they literally had Molly Quorum, before she ended up losing her job, had to actually apologize because we got it wrong. The trolls out there are catching people. So be excited about the possibility of it happening, but don't count on it. Don't count on it. Don't believe that it's actually true until there's some hard evidence. People are getting faked out all the time and stuff. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, I've got I'm working on this place right here, and I've got a historic commission meeting tonight, and then I'm going to see my friend Richard, who's the Steeler fan, and it'll be nice to be able to talk to him about how he's feeling about his team with Aaron Rodgers right now, and what his hopes are for the season, even after the big loss this past week. And I get the Dan Saleo show tomorrow, which will be interesting to see too. But I'll be going to Williamsburg, and that's going to be kind of interesting, because I wish it was actually next month, because next month in November they fire up the brick kilns where they actually make bricks like they did back in the day for the red brick house. So I'm going to go by and see some of that stuff. And I'm in here. Oh, you want to see what we're doing? You want to see what we're doing? Okay, let me show you what we're doing here. Okay, here we go. Curtis, I'm glad to hear that you're feeling better today. This is our kitchenette here, so our sink and stuff. And I've been tiling today, so this has not been an easy tile job because you had to tile the ceiling and stuff. But it's actually, it's a small space. You need a bad shower. That ain't bad at all. I've had smaller ones in RVs. Yeah, I have. And then I got the stove over here, a little stove burner. I got 2 burners. I got a microwave. Yeah. If Miss Tracy ever decides she don't want me no more, I could live here and be okay. I could be comfortable. Shit. I can cook me up. I can burn me some stuff up. I put my barbecue grill outside. Yeah, I'd be good with that. All right, you good people. We'll find out. We'll keep following up and seeing if there's anything to this. Maxx Crosby, that would be, if the Cowboys did that and they're getting Overshown back and Savon Rebel, Eagles would want to look in the rearview mirror.